Okay, I talk a little bit loud, but before they open my class, I just want to ask you a question. Who was in a Christmas celebration here in the church? The last one. Please raise your hand. I have a message for you. Don't be afraid. My testimony may be short, okay? During this week, I started preparing my testimony, and I say, okay, I have a lot of stuff to say, and how I start this? And then I received a message from friends, close friends, invite me to have a dinner at the beach. And I said, wow, maybe this is a good opportunity to relax a little, enjoy, to stay with my friends, and I see the beautiful sunset. And this what happens. I be there, enjoying the time, and then someone that's passed through, one man, come with a mini camera, like this one, or maybe bigger, and take pictures. And they just stopped in front of me, and he said, you know, today is a beautiful day to take pictures. And I said, oh, yes, really. And then he began to show us pictures and the camera, and then he put the camera on and began to show and say, wow, it's a beautiful pictures. At this moment, everything is perfect. But then, this old man, asked to us, oh, you like this picture? I said, oh, yes. Okay, did you have Instagram? Can work. Trust me, I trained this a lot of times before. Is this on? Is off? Meanwhile, go ahead. Go to the next one. One, two. Oh Lord, help me please. I was the timing.
Let me know when you want to change the slide.
Yeah, change the slide.
Robot is going to change the battery.
Okay. Next. This is what happens. You know? People ask me, did you have an Instagram? And no one there have an Instagram. We look very old, you know? My gosh! Then I realized that maybe this man going to make the next scare question. Next question. Next one. Next one. Did you have a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? And say, no. Just my mind began to grow, you know? And then I say, okay, I need to these guys. And then I ask to this guy, wow, this is a nice camera. And the guy just deviates from this subject and says, oh yes, this is a very professional one. It's a Remix G9, blah, blah, blah. I say, wow. Then I can relax again. Well, because I am a technical guy, I just back home and they say, okay, 20 megapixel camera, this is a very nice camera. Wow, this guy's good. But then I began to ask myself, what's the resolution of the human eye? It's working out. And the resolution of a normal one, like you, is 576 megapixels. Woo! A lot, huh? Unbelievable. But when you tell this for one professional photographer, he said, It's okay, but I am not impressed because a good picture, a good professional, megapixel not say too much. And why the human eyes have 576 megapixels? Well, if you ask for a photographer, the photographer say, okay, megapixel is the potential of the machine. You know, he can say to you like, how much maybe you can get for a picture. And then these pixels define the level of details, but does not mean that you have a quality photo. To have a quality, you need to have a focus. Okay? And not only focus, you need to have sensibility because sometimes you get the right focus, but the light is not good enough, the sensibility of your machine is not good. That means it does not work. And I have a lot of details, but the last one that is very important is timing. Doesn't matter if you have a big machine, a big camera, take the picture, but you lost the timing. You'll be useless, you know? Someone that just jump, you have a beautiful blank picture. You say, oh, it's useless. But why we have this resolution? Why humans have this resolution? It's for what? I can give you one example because I began to think about it. Normally when you've met someone, like probably I met you here before or whatever, you begin to ask, oh, where are you from? What you do? Because you want to connect, you want to stay close, you know? But sometimes people not give a very clear message. You cannot really have a clue who is this person. And then you lost opportunity to connect with people. In another situation, yes, you have an empty information. That means you cannot do nothing. But in some cases, you're asking for someone, oh, okay, where are you from? What do you do? And people say a lot of stuff. A lot of information that totally useless as well. And then you say, oh my God, what am I going to do with this information? Then we start to use this megapixels capacity because then you analyze the person. You know? You see the details. You see what people is wearing. Maybe it's a tourist. Or maybe for somewhere in the world. Because you can figure out based on what people, where these people come from. And you can guess the profession though. Maybe if you people wearing a uniform, you say, oh, maybe it's a military, it's a doctor or whatever. Okay. After you have this information, you can connect with people, and then, ta-da, you create a network. You have one person that you know, that you can communicate, you can exchange information if you wish, or whatever. Okay, my testimony. We're going to start now. Well, like I'm going to say, to not scare you, I want to talk to you why I come to New Zealand. That's a common question. Another one is what I'm doing here. But the most important is what I learned here in the past, and I want to share to you. Because really, I'm quite grateful to God to be here in New Zealand, to have this opportunity to stay here. But this is a long journey, and I wanted to share to you a little bit what I learned, and maybe help you. Okay, let's go to the start. Why I come to New Zealand? I have the 5 megapixel response here, okay? Lifestyle. People ask me, why you come to New Zealand? Lifestyle, you know, this is a nice place. Whatever, this is good. This is a shallow response, you know. For more close friends, this is my 20 megapixel response. because I want to follow my dreams. I want to bring my family to museum to have a good school. I want to have a good job. I want to have a nice car because the cars in my country is not so good. You know? And libraries, a lot of stuff. This is my dream. I dream to do that. We needed to have a dream, you know? If you don't have a dreams, you don't have a plan. And people that do not have a plan have enough of just have a dream. You dream sometimes. Okay. But when I have a serious conversation with someone, then I expose the real reason why I am here in New Zealand. It's because God has a plan for my life. You know, many people say, oh, okay, start to preach, pastor. Talk about this. No. Honestly, I grow up and I see a lot of miracles in my life. But like a camera, we needed to get the right focus, you know? You needed to adjust the sensibility to see the big picture. This is very important, and this is what I try to communicate to you today. I hope. Okay, I choose to talk about my career because it's easy to you to identify the companies. It's not so complex subject. Not go to talk about family, stuff like that. Okay, just to be short. I start my career with this book. My grandfather is a very religious man. He always keep the Bible in hand. He really read message. Sometimes he tell me stories. But one day he gave me this book that I still have until today. So this one is very old, very fragile, that you see there. And this book is an electronic dictionary. And I have a description about the components, old ones. You see the electronic valve, this is for old radios. And I'm quite excited. I'm here 10 years old, something like that. And I say, wow, I can build a radio. Wow, I can build a radio. And then I begin to read this book. But in the end, I figure out that this book has just the components. Just describe at the high level how the radio works, but do not give a plan, not give you have a schema, a design. And then I say, okay, I need to move forward. And then I decided to buy a magazine, this magazine. This magazine looks cool. I see a professional here with a lot of electronic stuff, instruments. I see it looks cool. And then I decided to build a radio. This amazing radio with 3 transistors, blah, blah, blah. I won't go into details. And then I brought the components, and I tried to make this radio. But guess what? Not work. I tried to change the components, I review everything. And you know, when you have a problem or when you go to new field in your life, it's very hard to find people that can help you. Because I asked to my granddad, I say, can you help me? Granddad said, I have no idea what to talk about. I talk with my neighbors, my friends, nobody really can help me. And then I figure out that someone understands about radio, but this guy is very busy and not really help me, you know? And they say, oh, you know, I really want to be with radio now. I go to do that. No, I want to be a professional. And then I say, okay, I need to figure out. Then I found this magazine. But this magazine is for kids, you know? It's very simple. I go to step back, say, no, I don't want to do this. But look inside, I figure out that they have a small radio with no transistors. Maybe I can try this, you know? And then I built this radio, and guess what?
It
Works. I say, wow, it's amazing. Then I learned the entire book, and then I figure out what is wrong in the previous one. I learned that I'm missing some details here. Sometimes God do the same for you. You figure out that you're a big guy, that you know everything, but you have some basic lessons to learn. And then, after this, I am quite successful and begin to evolve and was able to buy more sophisticated magazines. I still have these magazines today because this is important for my life. You know, this is the cornerstone of my life. Okay, now I know everything about electronics. You know, I am a guy, and a guy needs to have a good job. And then I said, you know what? The best company in my town was IBM. And I said, I want to go to work at IBM because I know a lot of stuff about electronics, a little bit about computers, and I wanted to work at the IBM. And I applied for a job there, and I tried to work there, and talk with people there, but guess what? Nothing happens, and I fail. I say, okay, I am young, I have no experience, but I can stay close for this stuff. And then I tried to work in a university, not like a student, but like some kind of technician, to support whatever. That means this is the most close possible that they can be for the electronics. Sometimes we try the best, we try options. And I applied for working in the university as well. And turned it down as well. I am quite disappointed. I said, oh no, I need to do something. I remember that best options is to pray God. Ask God, God, help me. I need to have a job. I need to start my career. Can you help me, please? And I was very bold. I said, you know what? I don't want small stuff. I want to have a big project. And some stuff that can have some transistors or some chips, some microprocessor maybe. In last case, maybe I can have the old valves, from old radios. That is fine. It doesn't matter. And God gave me a job. Like I asked, a big project. This is a big valve. And this is me, believe it or not. This is not a helmet, it's my hair. I have hair that And I say, oh my gosh, what are I going to do? Have some misunderstanding because this is an electronic valve. This is a mechanic valve. God, you're giving me the wrong thing, What? No, I thought this one, this, not there. But I learned as well with my parents, with some friends, that when God gives to you a job, a mission, a task, we need to do this well. We need to use what you have in your hands. The best you can do, you need to do. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, guess what? I started to work in this company, and everything about electronics is me. I said, I try. This is a mechanic company, but whatever. And then, in some moment, the company needs to make a new catalog of products. And I said, I can do that, no problem. And I take pictures, and then I make the text and the English because I want to give up the IBM. I still keep in mind. And I said, okay, I can learn a little bit of English because IBM is an international company. And then when I go to work in the IBM, I need the English. I still trusting, planning to do this. And then, in this company, the agents, the company that make the marketing, saw my work and said, wow, you've done very well. You really love mechanics. I said, no, really. I like electronics. I like computers, And then this guy asked me, why you not go to work there? I said, I'm trying. And then this guy said, okay, where your resume? I say, what? This is a French dish? This is a French food? No, your resume. I said, I don't have one. And then these guys helped me to make a beautiful, nice resume. That this resume not really talk about my career because I'm still young, but tell me something about my potential. You know, you have a lot of potential, but sometimes you're not really exposing your potential, or you're not believing your potential. You have a high resolution in your eyes, but you lost a lot of details that God is doing for you in your life. I'm going to prove to you today, okay, at the end of this. Okay. Then I make my resume and send my resume for many companies, including IBM. And nothing happens. But one company, high-tech company, hired me to work with electronics. This is one of the companies that work. It's a ventilator that actually is quite popular in the COVID. I designed this. This is my design. But I will only accomplish this because I work for long years in the mechanic companies and I understand about the mechanics parts and the electronic parts. Sometimes God put you in a position to learn something that you go to use in the future. You don't understand now, but in the future, I can guarantee to you that you go to use. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going forward, I'm not going to give too much details, but I have up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. And at some point, I decided to go to the United States. Why? Because IBM is from the United States, and they have another companies there as well. And I applied for a visa, not one, not two, but maybe 5, 7 times, and guess what? I failed. And I say, oh my gosh, what to do now? And then, after maybe 1 or 2 years, I get married with Elena, and we decided to visit Australia and New Zealand. And I'm quite happy there. I say, oh, you know, I have IBM here as well. I can work here. And what I need to do? They say, oh, you need to return in your country and apply and wait. I say, okay, cool. And I make my application, return to my country, and wait. And Australia said, sorry, your professional is not on the list. 2 years late. I waited 2 years. Every day I go to my mailbox and say, some letter. At the very time, there is no internet. Okay?
Yeah.
But then I say, okay, I go forward. I not go to give up of my dreams, of my plan. And I keep going many places, many works. And then, now I go to jump ahead. The moment that I decide to come to New Zealand, not to be long, okay? Because I have a lot of successes, include a visa to United States, because a year later I get the special visa for 10 years, and I was allowed to live or to work in USA. But God had a plan for my life, and I'm not interested to go to the United States anymore. I don't know the reason at that time, but it does not work anymore, okay? And then, 20 years later, I just arrived in New Zealand. That's probably the moment that someone know me. And I come to New Zealand in the moment that my life in Brazil is pretty good. I live in a nice house, I have a nice job, and receive an offer to work in international place. It's a dream as well. But in my heart, I say, okay, God have a plan for you, and you go to New Zealand. And I say, New Zealand? Why New Zealand? You know? And then I say, okay, I quit my job, And my friends really don't understand why. My family just said, you are crazy, you get old, maybe you're crazy. What you going to do in New Zealand? I said, I don't know, but I need to go there. I follow my dream, I have some lifestyle, and I have a plan. God have a plan for my life. I just arrived here with no job, little money, and a perfect English. Every time that I apply for a job, the agents just call me and say, oh, hello, I have a job too. I'm missing all. And then to make it worse, the telephone, I cannot see the number, I cannot call back. I say, oh, I never found a job. This will be very hard, you know. And then they begin to record and ask for the cues to help me to identify what people talk about. And the time is going, it's ticking, and my visa is close to expire. And one night I have a dream, because sometimes God tell you across the dreams, across some small stuff, small miracles that happen in your life sometimes. And then I have a dream, and in this dream say, Carlos, tomorrow morning you go in the company that you go, the old computer, one small place, and they ask you for a job there, and they say, you have a job there. I say, okay, it's crazy, but I just stand up and go there. And then I arrive to the place, and the guy said, oh, you have some problem in your computer? I said, no, I come here because I know that you have a job for me. The guy said, what? Maybe I some misunderstand. I said, no, you have a job for me. I said, what you do is I work with IT. I am an architect, I am a developer, I am whatever you need. Because I need a job. And then they say, oh, this is a problem. Wait a moment, I go to call the boss, the big boss. The big boss just comes and says, yes, what's the problem? They say, you have a job for me. They say, what? Okay, let me explain. I am a Christian. And I'm looking for a job. And I dream, and God told me to come here because God had a job for me here. The moment that I said this, I say, oh, probably someone going to kick you off into this place. But this boss said, okay, come to my office. And say, oh, some progress. And then this boss said, sit and tell me this story. And then I explained everything. And then this man said, you know what? I have been missionary for more of 10 years overseas, and I know exactly what I say. But I have no clue how can I find a job to you here. They say, this is easy, you have a lot of stuff to do, whatever. And then this guy said, you know what, I can hire you, but I cannot pay a big wage, and you can work for a while until you find a better job for you. That is fine? I say, oh, this is perfect. And then he gave me some instructions how to get the work visa. And then he tell me, okay, in a few weeks ahead, when you get this visa or not, you can come here and you can start. I say, okay. I just leave the office and go to immigration. And leave the immigration office with my visas. In one single day. When I look at this, I say, oh, I don't believe it. This is wrong. And then I show to my friends, I show to people, well, yes, this is a visa. It's a work visa. I say, wow, okay. And then next day I go to work. And then the guy, what are you doing here? I say, oh, I'm coming to work. I say, how? Do you have a visa? They say, yes. I say, wow, this is a miracle because I never saw someone taking a visa in one day. But you know what? This is a big lesson for me because I insist many times to go to USA, to have a visa, to work there, but not happens. And then I planned, okay, I started to work and then maybe 1-2 months I can bring my family. And this took, and then I say, okay, I'm going to scale up this stuff. And then after 20 years, I received a proposal of work. Guess what?
Tabernacle.
IBM.
IBM.
You know, my first job in IT here was at IBM. This is the lesson that God wants to give to me, that say, when I promise something to you, I give this to you. Sometimes I not give it to you because this can harm you. Maybe it's not good for you. I say, okay, I learn. Then, when I start to work at IBM, finally I bring my family, my loving family, 11 months after landing here, you know. I stay 11 months far from my family. I stay 11 months alone here. And sometimes when I was alone, I'm really missing my family, I'm missing the food, I'm missing, small stuff. And God provided me just at the right time. Let me give you one example. One day, I just said, wow, I really like to try the bread with the cream, the Brazilian bread. It's so sweet, so nice, but it's quite expensive here. I have it in the morning. I just eating white bread, $1 bread. I said, wow, whatever. And the same day, one friend just knocked my door and said, hello, Carlos, I come here to bring you some stuff. I said, okay. Then he opened the box. This box is full of bread. Not one kind, but all kinds possible. I said, wow. I said, you know what? I have a friend that's a baker training. And he prepared all of this stuff and give it to me because it's too much. And I come here to share with you. And I say, okay, another lesson. Sometimes God show your love with small things. And you need to observe. You need to use your 576 megapixels to see that. But to do that, you need to training. The best way to training is to study the Bible, is to stay close to Christ. Because this is the way to adjust your camera, to get the focus, to get the sensibility, to get the timing. Timing is important. Okay, go forward. This is my next job. My dream is work in university, and now I am working in university. Again, God showed to me, I have a plan in long term for you. And I say, okay, I cannot believe that. And then, 7 years later, I get the citizenship. This is far beyond that I really expected when I started my career, my professional life, my social life. But God, since the inception, have a plan for my life. And He provides big things at the right time and the small things at the right time, the small miracles. This is what I wanted to share to you today. Sometimes everything looks like going wrong. You go into despair. Nowhere can help you because it looks like a big problem. But for God, nothing is big enough. Nothing is a big problem. And one important thing to learn is about faith. Because faith brings to you resilience. This is a fashion word today. You need to have resilience. But resilience is the capacity to adapt. It's capacity to really be strong in situations that you are not prepared. And the best way to really be prepared and have a resilience is to really follow Jesus Christ. because He gave to you instructions for everything. This is not just an electronic dictionary, but it's one handbook with the schema, plan, testing, deployment, everything is there. And here, I just put some comments about what means resilience. It's cultivate, I believe, in your ability to cope with the difficulties in their life. Also, is stay connected with the source of support. For Christians, the source of support is the church, is the Bible, is your community, your friendships. And you needed to talk or planning about what you're going to do through, what you're planning to do. You needed to share this as well. Not to be shy. Because if you're not communicating, people sometimes cannot help you. If you're not communicating with God, if you're not praying, God cannot help you because you're not asking for nothing. If you're asking for nothing, you're receiving nothing. But if you plan, if you dare to have a courage to ask God, God maybe can give to you. This is the trick. When you ask for something for God, you need to be precise, but not too much precise, Because I made this mistake with the wolf before. Remember? You need to say, God, I want a job, but this job needs to be good for me and not put myself distant for you. I need to be one example. I need to follow you first, and then come the job, come the friends, come the possessions, the stuff. This is the secret. This is the big deal that you can make in your life. Because after a while, you'll figure out that you make a mistake. But God never makes a mistake. Because God make a promise. You can see in Jeremiah, for I know the plans that I have for you. This is this is a big one. This is a big message for you. He have a plan for you. I'm not talking about predestination, because some people say, no, my destiny is to fail. No, God designed you, put you here to be successful, to be great. But each one has different success or different level of life. You cannot compare yourself with another one. You need to compare yourself with yourself and then follow God's instructions. Okay.
How many times the players wearing white pass the ball?
I want to make now one task for you about attention. Pay attention, please. Here you have 6 people, 3 in black and 3 in white, wearing white. I asked you to count how many times the white team pass the ball to each other. Okay? Can I start? Can I start? Yes. Okay. Pay attention. Go. How many times? Who say 15? Raise your hand. Who say 15? Good. Who say 16? Wow, very good. Now I have another question for you. Who spot the gorilla? Good. Very good. It means you pay attention. Did you spot the gorilla? Right? Let's go to water again. Maybe someone missing the gorilla. Look, the gorilla there. But some people miss it because you're paying attention and the main, the people play. Okay? Now I have another question, the last one for you. The question is, what's the color of the curtain, the background?
Orange to red. Faded.
Who said red? Who said red?
At one point.
You're right. Someone said gold. Who said gold? Yellow. You? You're sure?
You're right.
You're
too.
right. Oh, wait a moment. How can it be possible to be right? Okay, watch again and then look only the color of the curtain. Okay?
Let's rewind and watch it again. Comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold.
Yeah, this is it. Did you see now what I tried to say? God always gives the signals to you. Always try to help you. Always try to drive you in the right direction. But you never pay attention. You always look at some details that is just important for you. You need to see the big picture in your life. You need to see what God has for you. Because when you begin to pay attention, when you begin to understand, you begin to see the miracles that happens all times in your life, on the daily basis. You know? And after years, months, whatever, you go to understand why God put you in some hard situation. I'm not saying trouble, hard situation. Yeah, this is the in short what I wanted to say to you today. But just before to go to the question, did you have some question from me? If not, we'll go forward.
I think you said everything.
Okay, let's go to answer these questions. Thank you.